So now that Black Adam vs. Apocalypse has officially been announced as a full episode of Death Battle, I figured I might as well look back on the DBX we got last year for this matchup. This is the first time ever, I believe, where a matchup got a full episode just a year after the DBX. But given how much the community has been hammering for this matchup, especially Biff, it's no surprise that this was the matchup to do it. I've already given my thoughts on the matchup and what I want to see in the death battle, so let's just talk about the DBX now, since I'm terrible at writing intros. The analyses are never really that enjoyable when it comes to DBX, but I honestly quite like them here. Wiz and Ringmaster are probably my favorite combination for this show, as their personalities clash so much, and it makes for some really funny sequences. And Ringmaster knocking Wiz out with a bat randomly was pretty funny. There isn't a whole lot to actually say about the analyses, so let's just talk about the actual fight now. It opens in a random desert with Apocalypse doing something, and then Black Adam appears and challenges Apocalypse to a fight. I love the neat little contrast with Apocalypse's blue lightning versus Black Adam's yellow one. I don't know why, but I think it just looks nice. We get some hits which are pretty good with impact and sound design as Black Adam uses his lightning to catch Apocalypse off guard and throws him to one of the pyramids, which I gotta admit was a pretty satisfying move given how swift it was. And also, every time Black Adam says Shazam in this episode, it just sounds like he's saying shut up, which is like 10 times funnier than it should be. Black Adam drags Apocalypse up the pyramid and brings him into the air, but Apocalypse gets the upper hand with his laser before chucking Black Adam to the ground, which has some great speed and impact to it. He then gets a nicely animated combo as Apocalypse throws Black Adam to the air and starts slapping him with his elongated arms. Black Adam blocks one before swiftly flying around it, dodging the based drill hand and once again impactfully hitting Apocalypse. Adam combos Apocalypse before the Big A hits him back and makes stones come out of the pyramid with a yell that sounds like Apocalypse is about to have a temper tantrum as Adam blocks and dodges them. We then get a really nicely animated shot of Black Adam looking down as the ground shakes. Like, seriously, this shot had no right to look this good. Apocalypse comes out of the ground and grabs Adam as a giant and fires a massive impactful laser as Adam retaliates with his electricity. Adam then goes under the pyramid and picks it up, spins it like a drill, and digs it into Apocalypse, catching him off guard as he fires another laser to destroy it. Honestly, probably my favorite scene in the entire fight. Everything feels so impactful, creative, and just plain fun. Apocalypse shrinks back down as Adam comes behind him, picks him up, and shocks him with his Shazam lightning, which still sounds like he's saying shut up over and over, and yes, it is still hilarious. Adam flies up and tears Apocalypse apart limb by limb before chucking him down and giving one last huge lightning bolt to give the killing blow, which was a really impactful and good finisher. And then we see a grayed out Apocalypse, wisping for a last breath as Adam stomps and crushes his head. A neat finisher, but also they strictly say in the analysis that Apocalypse can regenerate from a single drop of blood, and we can clearly see he still has blood here. That was a pretty big consistency error there. Hope they don't do that in the death battle. All they had to do was just make it ash instead of blood, and this whole problem would have been fixed. Still, it's a good kill, but it isn't the only one. As this is a modern DBX, there is another ending where Apocalypse wins. The other ending starts back up where Black Adam is saying Shazam and electrocuting Apocalypse, but instead of him flying up, Apocalypse opens a hole in his chest to get the bolt to strike Adam and cause him to revert back to his human self, which was honestly really creative and something I wouldn't have been able to think of, honestly. And I also love the line, merely mortal after all. It's just so threatening and I adore it, especially that Apocalypse laughs maniacally as he tears Adam limb from limb right after. Honestly, that's really scary and intimidating. So yeah, I love both endings, but I think I still prefer Adam's. I just think it has more impact, but it's still really close. I love them both. Oh, and then there's the next time. They acknowledged one of my most wanted matchups of all time. I want Donald versus Daffy so badly. Literally two of some of my favorite characters, both being ducks, which are a contender for my favorite animal. One is the color blue and the other is the color black. Both are my favorite colors. I grew up on Disney and Looney Tunes, and I still adore both series today. So yeah, I really want this matchup to be a full episode someday. I actually want to make a solo review on that episode as well. It really does deserve it. And yeah, that's the DBX of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson versus the beta male Darkseid. Honestly, I thought it was really solid. Wasn't that huge of a fan on my first viewing, but after rewatching a couple of times, there are a lot of aspects I like about this fight. The sprites look good, Adam feels very fast, many hits and throws are swift and impactful, Apocalypse gets to use a lot of his abilities, the environment gets utilized despite there not really being an environment, and yeah. As a standalone thing, I'd give this episode an 8 or 9 out of 10. It's a really solid DBX. And the crew has been saying that the death battle will be very different from what we got here. And I'm happy about that, since I don't really want it to be more of the same. We already saw what happened here. Now I cannot wait to see what else they come up with for the official episode. And also the track for that episode got leaked like 2 weeks ago, and I even listened to it. I won't spoil anything about the track itself besides the fact that it is really catchy and good, but it does not fit either character at all. I honestly kind of wish the track we got was more like the music in this fight here, but it's no biggie. So yeah, that's the end of this review. I forgot to mention this in the last video, but check out Capsirus's review on James Bond vs. John Wick. I'll have it linked in the description. Anyways, this was really fun to make. I might do this kind of thing for other episodes if they get announced. And I also want to review more individual episodes of DBX as well as other versus shows, such as 1 Minute Melee and Multiverse Match. We'll have to see about that. Anyways, generic YouTuber mode activated. Subscribe, hit that bell, beg Ben to do Boss Baby vs. Springtrap. Good night.